7 o'clock and it's a Saturday. That doesn't matter because every day it's kind of like Saturday, except sometimes you work from home and sometimes you just do whatever the hell you want from home. That's really the only difference these days. But it is 7 o'clock, and every night at 7 o'clock we do trivia, and that's why we're here. So we're going to see who the first person is to say first in the chat to get the first point of the night. And yeah, so that's what we're doing at this point. Let's go check the restream, make sure everybody's getting a copy of this going out. It does look like it is going to Facebook. It does look like it's going to YouTube. Twitch sending data. We'll see how that's going. And Gurmy is our first comment. Gurmy. That's not first, unfortunately.
Yeah, but then the next one is.
He does follow up with first. So that's good. Twitch seems to be maybe a little behind trying to do what it's doing. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, Septic says that for the purposes of first, Twitch is always like 2 minutes behind.
Interesting. I don't know why that is, but I've also not updated the titles. Again. That's the piece that I missed. Can I do it now? I don't know if I can.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. 6. Update.
Bitches.
I'm going to see if this actually works, but I have a feeling it won't. And that's okay. Let's see if that happens. That's because we're not... Oh, it's... Yeah, people... I don't know if it restarted things. But there are still people... I've changed the names of it. I don't know if that worked better or worse. We'll have to go and see if it was, if now I have a bunch of them. No, it seems like we're good. Let's refresh.
3-day-4s.
Yeah, those are from yesterday too. I've gotten out of the habit. I should just name it just who cares? Just come do things. So yeah, it seems like it didn't do it. It didn't do the update. That's okay. Nobody knows the difference anyway. Christina, unfortunately, welcome. You are not first. Steam also not first. Septic is here. Good. So it is making it to Twitch. We now know that for a fact. I've gotten out of the habit.
Welcome to week 6, day Shut Your Face.
Right. We have one. We now have one of our 2 Twitch followers here, Septic, on there, and then what was it, Matt?
That's okay.
McFace Stab.
Matt McFace.
We'll see if Matt McFace Stab came back. He did follow us. He did subscribe, so well, hopefully he'll be back. That would be really great.
Melissa, the color is blue violet.
Blue violet. That was.
I selected by putting
We have one. We now have one of our 2
like halfway
Twitch
between,
followers
and
here,
one blue a
Septic,
little more toward
on
the
there,
violet.
and then all right. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We got 2 bulbs in 2 different colors.
He did follow us.
Who was it that chose that?
So
Emily chose it.
That would be really great.
So Emily was our winner yesterday. Picked the color of the studio, blue violet. If you win, you can also do that. To go over the quick things.
Do you have like
a weird
that's
echo.
playing or something?
Do I have a what?
So yeah,
Video maybe
that's what we're
in
doing.
your last tab
Oh
there.
yeah. That's probably it.
Who was it that chose?
Oh no, it's this guy. That's what it is.
It's
Sorry
like,
about that.
Hey, the desktop audio is working.
Yeah, the desktop audio is working. Yay. Sorry. All right, so good times. I've fixed that. Shaggy's here, Ian's here. That's great. We've got it all fixed. And
Is that better, Septic?
yeah. No, that was it. It's way better now. I guarantee. I'd gone on to do the share. So to go over kind of the rules, ways you get points is if you come on, you answer a question correctly in the 60 seconds we give you, you get a point. If you're the first person to get that answer correctly, you get a bonus points. You get 2 points. There are questions that have multiple points. That's also something that's possible. But also you can get points for sharing, which I'm doing right now. See down there, it just says that I shared. So there, you can get a point for that. I can barely hear you. Okay. Well, I can turn that up, I think. I feel like the guest audio is there. Yep. I will talk louder, and that will make it better.
No shouting.
I'm not shouting. This is just speaking like it's basically how you do things when it comes to like theater. If you were on stage, you'd have a stage voice and things like that. William's here. That's good. One of the ways that you can get a point is if you're the first one in and say first. Ian was the first one. You get a point. The first point of the night. You'll want to do that. To be able to do that, you're going to want to go to the top or bottom of the screen right now, and there's a subscribe or a follow button. You'll want to hit that, and then you'll want to hit notifications to make sure that it tells you when we go live. So you'll want that. And then the last way is the sharing. You saw that. Some people have been sharing. You'll see the alerts that have happened there. We've got a few of them. It looks like myself and Craig and Shaggy have all done it. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate it.
William.
What's that? William also?
William said he shared.
Oh, already shared. Okay, great. So at the end, we're going to roll back around. We'll get points for everybody who shared that showed up there in the alert there. And I feel a half bottle of scotch was a bad idea beforehand. You never know. That might help Septic with the overall boating.
You might be like the people who swear that they play pool better after they're a little drunk.
Yeah, that could be. All right, so we're up at 18 people. That is above the legal limit for people in a thing together. I've made the chat a little different. It's a little more condensed, so you can see more of what's going on. Hopefully that is a positive thing.
Yeah, I did hear that little Richard died, William. He died of complications of bone cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That's very sad.
It is very sad.
And Roy from Siegfried and Roy died of COVID-19.
The sad part, I think, is that that's especially sad. I mean, people die all the time of different diseases and stuff. But with where we are right now, if you're terribly sick, a lot of people can't visit you. So you kind of die a little more lonely, which seems really unfortunate.
What are Little Richard's greatest hits, so we can tell Septic who Little Richard is?
Let's see. What would be Tutti Frutti?
I was thinking. Tutti
Yeah, that
Frutti.
would be the one that I would, if I was to do a song by Little Richard. Tutti Frutti, I think, would be the top one there. So, yeah, 50s, like early 60s. That's where he was very popular. Played piano, African American gentleman, very flamboyant, very over the top kind of way about him. I would assume probably a really big influence to Elton John. I would expect. I don't know that for a fact.
Oh yeah.
But I could see that lineage happening.
I see some Crocodile Rock. I see some.
Yeah, right. That high energy, costumes, showmanship, all of that. So that's one of the places, one of the founders of that, I would think. Michael Barbine has joined us. He is our Minister of Misinformation. Welcome, Mr. Barbine. All right, let's get started. Question number 1.
Question number 1. What fish's name is thought to derive from the Latin meaning to leap?
There you go. You need to know a little Latin here. That makes it a little harder. But you have 60 seconds to hash it out. We need to know what it is. Oh, Barbine's back in Reston. Welcome, Barbine. Reston is where we are streaming from. It's just outside Washington, D.C. Michael Barbine has been going across the entire United States in a VW van. Is the VW van back here now? Is that true? Is it back? Is it in Reston? Can we visit it? This lightning is very good for Keith. He is a super hip music video. It's like he's in a super hip music video. Well, cool. I don't mind that. I think it looks very good on you.
Thank you.
See how you have the good, there's really nice contrast behind you. I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's nice. All right, so we've got 10 seconds left. Get your answers. Stop getting in my... We have very specific rules about the cameras. Remember, we have to make it look like we're a big deal. And time is up. We're going to the chat. No! Stop it! We got lots of answers in the Facebook chat. So let's take a look. Looks like Danny has gone with a Karen. Bold. Right out of the gates with a Karen. William went with salmon. That could be a good guess. Salmons leap. They're known for leaping, right? What else do we have? We've got a flying fish. I feel like flying fish, though, isn't very Latin. That doesn't feel Latin to me. It does definitely leap. But flounder, that feels like I'm not leaping. I'm like floundering, right? Like, I don't know. The mullet, another salmon says septic. Another flounder. So flounder is very, very popular. He was a big influence on John Waters. Is he's saying? I think of Little Richard.
Yeah.
Leatherface. That is not a type of fish, I don't think. There's like a leatherback turtle. Trey is first. No, he says maybe not. No, he's not. All right, so Paul says that it's the Loch Ness Monster. Is that true?
Oh, I'm giving Ian a point for tagging someone.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the Loch Ness Monster leaps.
No, I don't think it's a very leaping kind of animal.
Trey has a very good point here.
Flounder is a bottom dweller, not a lot of leaping, yeah. But here's the thing. It would be a real leap to guess that.
And it's effing delicious.
That's also true. In case you didn't hear what she was saying, is we're giving a point to Ian because he tagged someone in the chat there. So if you want to share it with an individual and get a point for that, just tag him in one of your chats there on Facebook, and we'll get you a point for that. The shares to your profile, we'll tally those up at the end, and you just do that by hitting the share at the top there. Jenny and Emily have joined us as well, so that's great. What was the correct answer for question number 1?
From the Latin salire, the answer is salmon.
It is salmon. Okay, cool. So an excellent guess. I think that's what I would have gone with. Shaggy, I think the first one with that, so a point for Shaggy. Septic also got that point, and unfortunately Danny has lost a point because that thrown Karen did not turn out well.
That Karen short.
A little short on the Karen. 2 people got it. All right, so question number 2.
John Henry Deutchendorf.
Nailed it.
Deutchendorf became famous under what name? It's definitely Deutchendorf.
Deutschendorf.
Barbara would like to know what's for dinner.
We had steak for dinner. It was delicious. Caitlin grilled it outside on the grill. It was remarkable. And then we had some mixed vegetables because we're goddamn adults and we eat vegetables from time to time.
There was like green beans and carrots and corn and peas.
Yeah. So every once in a while we have vegetables just to make sure people realize that we're adults still.
But we cover them in butter.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. All right, so let's see what else. What else do we have? Oh, John Waters is an excellent human being, says Tom Johnson. Fish Baloo, by the way, Steam said for the last question.
That is not correct.
I feel so young. I don't know any of these people. Well, if you're into music, they're pretty well known, like U.S., like American music folks. They're older. Like I wasn't around when they were around either, but they're just kind of legendary that way. 20 seconds left for the second question. Loch Ness Monster is a great leaper. Nessie played forward for the Knicks in 1961, says Ian. I didn't know that. That's probably not true. Craig says Thomas Morvello Riddle. We have 5 seconds left. We've got Sting, John Denver, Tiger Lockhart, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Oh, that's weird. That's my name too. Let's go to the chat because time is up. Lots of John Denvers. A lot of people saying John Denvers. Wasn't it Henry John, though? I don't know. That could be John Henry Deutchendorf. Deutchendorf.
That's not it.
That's not it? That's not... his name is my name, too, and whenever we're around, people always sound John Jacob Deutchendorf.
La
La la la la la la. Half paying attention here, making my dinner myself. Danny, what's for dinner? We need to know. Barbine wants to know what you're eating for dinner. It's very important to him. What was the correct answer?
I would just like to point out that Sting's real name is Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner.
I thought his first name was Gordon, so that's why I didn't think that one was right. Don't know about John Denver. I just assumed he was John Denver, but does make sense that it wouldn't be a born name.
That is not his real name. His real name is John Henry Deutchendorf.
Ah, well, there you go. John Denver is actually a communist. That's no.
What? That's not.
No, is that not true? Oh, just because he's one of those singer-songwriter folks, they're all commies.
That's true. Wait, you're a singer.
Not anymore. Trey says Engelbert Humperdinck. A little after the time there, unfortunately.
Bacon, veggie masala burgers with goat cheese, tomato slices, and over easy eggs. I like the combination of the bacon and the veggie burger.
Yeah, that's the best part, right? What you do is you say, I'm going to go with a veggie burger, and then you're like, I'm going to put bacon on it because bacon's really good. So I have to make sure that we have that. All right, so we've got some folks who all got answers correct, but it looks like the first one there was Trey. That's what I got. Yep. So 2 points to Trey. Congratulations. Moving on to question number 3.
I like that Septic is just repeating fake answers now.
He knows that guy, Engelbert Humperdinck.
Oh, good.
That's the one he knows.
Welcome
of all
to
of the ones.
Relative.
Yeah.
What country did Abel Tasman discover in 1642?
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Get your answers in. We need to know what country Abel Tasman discovered in 1642.
Craig is eating tater tots for dinner.
Yeah. I would have a guess, but my guess is probably not correct because Craig went with the Tasmanian Devil, which is not a country. So I don't know why he guessed that. But Ian's having Peachtree Schnapps meatloaf, which is a meatloaf I assume just drenched in alcohol. Tochos are freaking life.
Tachos. It's nachos on tater tots.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's see. Septic says Tasmania. That was gonna be my guess, but the problem is that I don't. Is Tasmania a country?
No.
I feel like it's just an island, right? Well, time's up, so we will find out. We're going to the chat here, what people come up with, but it feels like that's just part of Australia. So he would have had to have at least discovered Australia for that to be true. That would be my guess. So let's go down the list. Lots of Tasmanias. England seems like 1642. England was around before that. I feel like that is happening. New Guinea. That's an interesting guess. That could maybe be it. Lots of Tasmanias. Australia. So if you think Tasmania is the answer, really Australia is the answer. My mom is joined, by the way. Hello, Mom. Another England. England, I feel like, was around a lot longer than that. Tasmania, the land of the Looney Tunes, says Tom Johnson. His kids found lyrics to two songs with no music. They asked Railroad to put them to music. Steam saying that, I assume about... Little Richard, maybe? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or maybe about, who was the other person we were talking about?
Waters. Yeah. And so maybe, yeah, and I assume it's Railroad Earth.
Here's a trivia.
Yeah.
Factoid.
Yeah, it is.
Stephen McCracken fucking loves Railroad Earth.
Mm-hmm. He was going to take us to a Railroad Earth concert, and then COVID happened and it canceled it. So we'll have to go some other time. Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Yep. FSM. I'm not sure what that is.
I'm not Googling it.
No? Damn, I should have stayed in my boat, says Septic. Danny said New Zealand. That's an interesting guess as well. What's the correct answer?
New Zealand.
It is New Zealand. Okay.
Tasmania is an island state of Australia.
Yes. And so it is not its own country, but Australia and New Zealand, those both seem like they would have been decent guesses. I don't know when Australia was found, though. I feel like maybe before the 1600s, but I'm not
Googling
sure.
it.
All right, so there you go. Question number 3, down and finished. One person getting it, Danny with 2 points. Steam says, I think Danny is right. I finished a bowl of Cucamonga. Jjangmyeon.
Jjangmyeon.
Yeah. It's Korean ramen with black bean sauce.
Oh, I
All
love black bean sauce.
That
Black
sounds-
bean garlic sauce is so good. I put it in stir fries all the time.
That seems like it could be good. New Zealand isn't a place, says Tom Johnson. Steam says John Denver. He wasn't discovered. He's just a person. I'm drinking bourbon for dinner, says Tom Johnson. I like it. New Zealand is just the Shire because that's where they did all the movies.
Yeah.
And the entire county.
I think he meant country.
Country. Oh, okay. The entire country doesn't exist. Australia was discovered thousands of years ago. Well, I believe that. Septic has a pre-guess of 1876. I like that you're sticking with one guess, and that makes the variables lower, right? Because at some point in time, we'd have to get to that answer for something.
Just checking my answers here. No.
No. All right. Question number 4.
Which Shakespeare play was set in the forest of Arden?
All right. Shakespeare play set in the forest of Arden. 60 seconds on the clock. The County of Bourbon. Oh, I see. I just made a bad joke about drinking people.
Oh,
The Bourbon County.
I get it.
That's what they're having.
I see what
Drinking
you did there.
Bourbon County for dinner. I feel like, is Bourbon County dry? Is that one of them? Is that seems like it would be wonderfully ironic. I know that like the place where what is it, Jack Daniels is made, that's a dry county. So they make Jack Daniels in a place where you can't drink Jack Daniels, right? Which is fascinating. Or at least you can't go to bars and drink it. I don't know. I assume you could have it in your house, right? We've got some Midsummer Night's Dream. We've got about 10 seconds left, so get your answers in. Robin Hood and His Merry Men. I'm not familiar with Robin Hood and His Merry Men as a Shakespeare play. It's dry, they say. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, not as well known as a Shakespeare play. Let's go to the chat because time is up. As You Like It. That's also not a Shakespeare. Oh, no, that is a Shakespeare play.
Shakespeare.
That one's fine. Midsummer Night's Dream says Septic. As You Like It. That's interesting. We went Midsummer Night's Dream, and there was a run on Midsummer Night's Dream. And then somebody said As You Like It, and other people were like, that sounds good. I'm going to go with that. And then there's now a run on that. So it's funny to see how the trends come together like that. But those are all the answers. Did anyone get it right?
Yes.
What is the correct answer?
As You Like It.
It is. Okay, so all the Midsummer Night's Dream folks unfortunately came in early but did not come in correct. First person to get it right, Melissa, 2 points for you. Also, William and Danny get points. So good job by all of you who went against the trend and decided to go with something else. My boat always feels uneasy when Danny is guessing something else. Yeah, turbulent waters at that point.
A little rickety.
Yes, it does make you go, oh God, oh no. She isn't always right, but yeah, it does make you feel unfortunate there. Well, don't I feel like an ass? Why? What is it that you guessed? You went with Midsummer Night's Dream and...
Oh, I get it. Because there's an ass.
Oh, because there's a donkey. I see. This is enchanting. Ha 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 ha.
Lols.
This is Keith's favorite Shakespeare. Is it?
We did Midsummer Night's Dream in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And then also in middle school.
I did in high school. We did it, I think it was my freshman year. We did a shorter version of Midsummer Night's Dream and Romeo and Juliet in one night.
I was the stage manager.
Ah, wonderful. You were in the play inside of the play?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mostly I had to yell at people on a headset.
That seems good. Or were you in the troupe on stage, or were you a tech person?
I was a tech person.
Okay, so you weren't on stage.
I was behind stage.
You were the stage manager for Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. There's also like a theater troupe on like
Oh.
in the play. So I
Right.
was wondering if maybe in middle school you had like a stage manager in the play.
No.
No.
I
All right.
was meant to be Puck
Oh.
in elementary school.
Yeah.
But instead I got the flu,
Oh.
and it wasn't anything.
That's very
I had
unfortunate.
my lines all memorized and everything. On the night the play was supposed to be, I made my parents listen to the lines that I was supposed to say.
Mm-hmm.
They were not interested.
Not interested in it at all. Huh?
Probably because I looked like I was going to throw up the whole time.
Can you do the Puck monologue?
Absolutely not.
No, the like, if this, if you be offended,
If these
think but this and
shadows
let
have
all be
offended,
mended.
think but this and all be mended.
Yeah.
You've been. Isn't it something like you've been a traveler here? While these visions did appear?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did travel here while these visions did appear, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, people who love Shakespeare. We're butchering the fuck out of this.
Can we band together to call him Wiggle Poker? I think it's a better name, and I'm trying to see a grassroots effort. For whom? Is that for Puck? Or for me? Am I Wiggle Poker?
Who's Wiggle Poker?
Yeah. You wouldn't, you monster, but you are more than welcome to join my boat.
That we have just slumbered here.
Ah.
Not visited, traveled.
Slumbered here. That's what it is.
Right.
Yep. There we go. All right. So, yeah, we've just moved. We're now just doing Shakespeare. Every night at 7 o'clock, come join us here for Shakespeare in the Basement.
While we butcher it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to question number 5.
Oh, he wants to call Shakespeare Wiggle Poker.
Wiggle Poker.
And
okay, instead of a
the guy from Great Britain was offended.
Instead of the Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare
Wiggle Poker.
We get
Got
jokes.
It.
Hello.
Yeah. It takes
Hi.
us a few times. Helps if you explain it to us, and then we get them.
Slowly, like we're 5.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a fun trivia fact. What are camel hair brushes typically made from?
All right.
Spoiler alert. The
Easiest
answer
question.
is not camel hair.
Shit! That was what I was going with.
Sorry.
But it's camel hair brushes.
They're usually paint brushes.
Yeah. Made out of camel's hair,
No,
obviously.
Camel hair, actual camel hair is not suitable for paintbrushes.
Then why would you sell camel hair brushes?
Because it sounds more exotic.
Well, what then, like human hair brushes?
Well, I'm not telling.
Oh, God.
Might have given away the answer.
God, I don't want to paint anymore. I thought this is camels.
You don't paint anyway.
That's why I don't want to paint anymore, because I'm not any good at it.
Paint anymore if
Right.
you don't paint now.
I don't want to paint anymore.
That's not what that means.
Yes.
It's not what any of
I
that
absolutely don't want to paint anymore. From this point forward, I don't want to paint. And from this point back, I didn't want to paint. Stop touching me in my camera. This is my camera.
means. Where did the bad lady touch you? In my camera.
All right, time's up. Let's go to the chat. Touching me on the camera.
Don't you touch my camera.
Oh, Septic goes with a Karen. Somebody has thrown a Karen, which is tough because we've got boar's hair, we've got
Danny's
badger
also
hair.
thrown a Karen.
Danny also going with the Karen. This is tough. Let's see. Hemp. That's it. There's some really good guesses. Horsetail. Couple boar's hair. That's boar hair. There's a few people who have said that now. Let's see.
Ew.
Barbine goes with lamb fat.
Oh, God.
Lamb fat. That's now. You know what? Now I want to start painting again. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's what I want. So yeah, let's go down the list. Badger, boar, my beard, says Paul. I can just paint with my beard.
Not correct.
That's the thing. Llama hair, Karen, horsehair, boar's hair, Karen, 3 Karens,
Oh,
hemp, lamb fat, and then time was up. After that, Christina says we're very funny, which is yes, we're very, very funny. Nailing it. To quote Doug, squirrel, says Trey. So did anybody get it right?
Well, Trey got it right after the buzzer.
Oh, no!
Well, he had already answered.
He had already answered.
Sometimes when Trey answers, he then goes and looks it up to see if he was right because he guessed.
Right.
And then comes back around with the real answer. But he's respectful and does it after time.
Yes. So time was up. His second answer he doesn't get credit for. But here's the thing. Nobody said squirrel during the time, so that means 3 people get a point. Steam, Danny, and Melissa. They all threw Karen's. And they all... Oh, no, sorry. Septic, Danny, and Steam. I had it wrong. So those 3 get a point because they correctly threw a Karen when nobody had the answer.
So you can see why they call them camel hair brushes, because squirrel's not so exotic.
Right. But what if they did... What if they said, like, nut rats? Nut rat hair. What?
No.
That's... Yeah. Why not?
Not nut rat.
Why? Why wouldn't it be called that?
Look at me in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm looking at you in your eyes. What? That's
not nut rat.
I think that would be exotic. I'm just saying. Isn't there a lot of hair on a squirrel? There isn't a lot of hair on a squirrel.
In the tail, there
the
is.
tail bit is just all hair, right? Because it's just a little stick in the middle and then poof. So I think that counts. Well, we're halfway through.
Sorry about that, Melissa. Most paintbrushes are made out of animal hair.
Hey, here's the good news, though. It's not lamb fat.
It's not made out of lamb
Which
fat.
is what Barbine thought it was. So let's go over the scores, because that was our 5th question, right? So we're going to go over the scores. If you think that your score differs from the score that we have for you, just let us know and we'll try and correct that. What do people have?
With 1 point, we have Karen, Tom Johnson, William S. With 2 points, we have Trey, Steam, Shaggy, and Ian. With 3 points, we have Septic and Melissa.
Septic doing well.
Good job, Septic. And with 4 points, we have Danny.
Just right behind Danny. It's pretty close at the top there, so nobody is taking off with this. Very even across the board. Anybody could take the night. Danny says that she's eaten squirrel.
I heard it's kind of sweet.
Did you put it on a veggie burger? That's the question I would have. Scotch on a boat is good. See, there you go. You should apparently sail while drunk more often.
I don't think the Coast Guard agrees.
Yeah, no, that's probably true. But it's septic. It has nothing to do with our coast, so we're good.
Different coast. There's no way he can get from there to here drunk.
Yeah. So it's a halfway point. You know what? Since we've got 17 people watching, just real quick, we do this at 7 o'clock every night Eastern. So come join us. We're going to basically take everybody's points, add them up. At the end of the week, whoever has the most points gets a free t-shirt, which Caitlin's going to put in front of the camera right now.
Oh, shit.
And yes, you can win that t-shirt. Yeah, it's good. It's not centered very well. There you go. And we will send that to you. And it's going in and out. This is good. It's a dance. You can get points by being the first person in the chat and yelling first. To do that, you'll probably want to go up and follow or subscribe to this channel, and then make sure that you have your notifications set on it. So make sure you do that. And you can also share the show and get points. You'll see alerts kind of showing up here if you do that. We appreciate that. Helps us grow. And all of this is based off of a podcast that I have called Another Wasted Hour. You can search for that on any of your podcast outlets. It is available in all of those places. It's free. There's about 140 episodes. It's got a little bit of trivia with a game show we invented called Please God, Just Get One Right. And also some fun, ridiculous internet news from crazy people. You know, man from Florida and stuff. Those types of things.
Septic, do you know about Florida Man?
Oh yeah, do you know about Florida Man over in the UK? And then last but not least, you'll also be exposed to some local music and artists from the DC area that you probably wouldn't see before and who are very talented. So go check that out, and we will move on. Oh, Septic doesn't know about Florida Man. So Florida Man is a thing that happens in the United States. Whenever there's ridiculous news, more often than not, it starts with the words Florida Man.
Because there's laws in different states about whether you can put a person's actual name in a news article around crime. And in Florida, you cannot. And so all they can say is Florida man or Florida woman.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of memes on the internet about all the crazy adventures that Florida man gets up to.
Well, and also Florida man, like, a lot of crazy shit happens in Florida, too.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's basically like they used to have a game that they had on Loveline, which was a radio program that had Adam Carolla on it. And it used to be a game where they played called, it was called Florida or Germany. And he would basically give a news article, and you had to guess if it was from Florida or Germany. That's the place where all this shit goes down, apparently. Is Florida and Germany.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So, yeah, check that out. Go search for Florida Man Septic. It's pretty entertaining. Let's move on to question number 6.
For what film did Frank Sinatra win his only acting Oscar?
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. He won an Oscar for acting. Frank Sinatra. What was the movie that he was in that gave him that Oscar? You all have, by the way, given Caitlin a form of PTSD now that every time she asks a question, the next thing she has to do is start Googling it to make sure that the answer she has is actually correct. This is what you've done to her.
Yep.
It is a horrible thing, and it's your fault. It's all of your faults. I just want you to know that. Florida man is a freaking moron, says Trey. Tom Johnson, Florida or Germany. Yep, it was something I used to listen to Loveline. It was a good show.
I loved Loveline. Yeah. I didn't remember Florida or Germany though.
Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, both who went on to be quite famous for what they do. 5 seconds left. Get your answers in. We need to know the name of this film.
They are famous for very different things now.
Yes. All right, time is up. We're going to the chat.
Balls.
I would say Adam Carolla is still famous for the thing he does anyway, right? Like it was before, like kind of radio personality, podcast thing. And then Dr. Drew became famous for kind of what he did as well, which is going and dealing with like...
herpes.
Yeah, like sex and addiction stuff,
yeah,
right?
I'm saying the two of them are famous for divergent things, not the thing they were famous for changed.
Right, they're famous for divergent things, but they're famous for the thing that they both did together.
Right. Isn't that interesting, though? They did something together and got famous for it, but they're for different reasons. One because he's funny and one because he loves to talk about herpes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's take a look. Time is up. It looks like Guys and Dolls, Clay Fighter, Ocean's 11, From Here to Eternity, Godfather, Weasels, Rip My Flesh, 1979. Says,
oh, God, Paul.
Is that... Yeah, that wasn't...
Not having water has not been good for you.
Yeah, no, this is just him normal. Christina says, oh, no. Septic goes with Guys and Dolls. It's a good guess. From Here to Eternity again. Steven says, love Zappa, replying to Paul. Danny also goes From Here to Eternity. Dr. Drew is the special guest for the first episode of Midnight Gospels on Netflix. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what Midnight Gospels is. You'll have to tell us. Maybe tell us what that is. What's the correct answer, though?
From Here to Eternity.
It is. Okay. So good guess with the Guys and Dolls, but From Here to Eternity gets the points, which means Steam 2 points first person to get that answer in. Then we also got answers from looks like Trey, William, and Danny all got that correct. All right, so there you go. Who knew he was also an award-winning actor? I always thought that he did some acting, but had no idea he actually got an award for it. So I would have never gotten that correct.
So the thing I was Googling is because of the way the question was phrased, I was wondering what else he may have won an Oscar for. Because the question is phrased such that you would think he only had one acting Oscar. What the fuck did he else did he win? He won the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award.
Ah, like a Lifetime Achievement kind of award.
Yeah. And he was nominated for Best Actor in Man with the Golden Gun, but did not win.
Trey wanted to answer Robin Hood and his 7 Hoods to go with my Shakespeare answer. I didn't. Is that a movie? Is that an actual movie that he was in? That sounds racist. It feels like that. It's an animated conversations on spirituality and drugs. Interesting. Okay. Yay me, guess of following other people. Oh, good. Finally, Danny was able to cheat off of other people after many people have cheated off of her. Let's move on to question number 7.
What is the lightest known solid element?
This is tough. It depends if you light it on fire or not.
The true PTSD that I suffer from now that I've had to make questions for these jackasses is when I type in the question, I then think of how could they misinterpret this or tell me I'm wrong?
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely it's a bunch of 6-year-olds who are trying to just mess with you. That's what we've gathered a group of 16 6-year-olds who just want to see if they can outsmart you.
I will eventually rage quit.
Mm-hmm.
That is how this show will end.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will have had enough of your nonsense.
Yep.
And you're complaining.
And then I'll be stuck with you alone. And you know, that's okay. I'm fine with that. That is something that I have accepted. There's about 15 seconds left on the clock, so get your answer in. We've got potassium and lithium and carbon and Anubis's feather. Which is not an element, I don't think. Here's my guess. Air.
Ooh, that's not an element either.
It is. Earth, fire,
heart,
air. Yeah. Obviously the lightest of all of those. I'm just saying. All right, we're going to the chat. Time is up. Septic comes in with a Karen along with Danny. Septic just followed Danny into the Karen, I think.
Septic is like, well, shit, if she doesn't know.
Right. Like, oh, this is not going to go well for me, so I think I will throw one. Carbon, that's a really great guess. You know, carbon fiber is always a really light material that people talk about, so that seems like it could be a good one. Paul goes with a Dugard.
That automatically gets you a negative point, I think, is how a Dugard works.
Yeah, it could be. It's the opposite of a Karen. You just lose a point.
Maybe he was summoning Dugard.
Steam also won with carbon. Lithium. Some people to lithium. Tom Johnson says, beat me to it. What was it?
I don't know.
Air. Probably me seeing air. No, I was going to, but I was waiting to see what other people said. Just waiting for the last second. Well, you got in before the end. So let's ask the way we always do whenever Karens are thrown. Caitlin, did anyone get it correct?
Yes.
Oh, no. Danny, Septic, each losing 1 point. What was the correct answer?
Lithium.
It's lithium. So Trey looks like the first one to get lithium in.
Oh, I beat Tom Johnson to heart.
Oh, to heart. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, lithium by Trey. Trey was the first one to get that.
Correct.
2 points to him, and then it looks like Melissa also got it. And I would say air definitely lighter than heart, because I've heard people say that they have a heavy heart. So no one's ever said I have heavy air.
No, every element can't be solid.
And can't every element be solid? I think most of them you can make solid, right?
I think there are exceptions, though.
There's probably maybe it's just the extreme of things, right? Like, you could have solid nitrogen. It would just take an extreme amount of cold, right? Because it takes a lot of cold to make liquid nitrogen, and then I would assume it takes just even more to make solid nitrogen.
Quora says that every element can be made into solid, liquid, or gas. Every element has 3 phases.
Yeah.
It just may be nearly impossible to get it there.
Right. It would be very difficult to do it. Yeah, at 0 Kelvin, everything's a solid, says Paul.
Practically, no, every element can't be made solid, but theoretically, yes.
Mm. And I think there's like a natural state is what we're really talking about, right? In its natural state, which is the lightest solid?
Paul Jobson says at 0 Kelvin, everything is solid.
Yeah, which is probably fair. It's just really difficult to get to 0 Kelvin. If not impossible. So, moving on. What are we? Question number 8 now?
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah,
right?
8, sure.
8 question.
What sport are Torvill and Dean famous for?
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. We need to know, what do Torvill and Dean do professionally?
When they do things.
Yeah. What or perhaps what did they do when they did things professionally? That's another guess. You know what's a solid? Says Steam. Cat Baloo. She's a little gelatinous, honestly. Yeah, a little
puddingy. Oh, by the way, babe, did I tell you I'm going to make you pudding?
No.
We have all the ingredients that can make you pudding.
What flavor pudding?
Chocolate.
Chocolate pudding, and then you're going to put jelly beans in it?
Yep.
Ugh.
You said you would prefer real chocolate pudding to jelly bean chocolate pudding.
Yes.
So I'm going to make you real chocolate pudding.
I agree. Actual chocolate pudding better than jelly bean chocolate pudding.
Unless you really want vanilla pudding, I could make you vanilla pudding.
I do like vanilla. 10 seconds left on the clock. I think vanilla's better, personally.
I'll make you vanilla pudding. I don't have any... Oh, I have a vanilla bean.
Yeah, we've got several,
I can make you proper vanilla pudding.
That's pretty cool. All right, time's almost up. We are going to chat. Let's see what people have said. Lots of... Let's see. Water. Paul just says water. The sport of water.
Shit.
What? What's going on?
I just closed a tab that I need.
All right, we'll wait for her to get to that. We've got curling and ice dancing. Jupiter's core is theoretically metallic hydrogen. That's fun. More ice dancing. Also guessing curling. Cricket. Volleyball. But let's be real, they are not famous. Use bourbon extract. Make bourbon pudding. Neither of us like bourbon, so probably not.
Bourbon.
We might use bourbon vanilla though.
Oh, bourbon vanilla.
Yeah, because that is a type of vanilla. I thought that it was a type of I thought it was like bourbon and vanilla, and that's not the case.
No.
It's a type of vanilla, bourbon vanilla. Black jelly beans are the best, says Tom Johnson. I don't know. I'm not really fond of black jelly beans. I like licorice, but I think I'd rather have it as licorice and not jelly beans.
Welcome, Matt McFaceStab. You have 2 questions left.
Yeah, you still have 2 questions left. Matt McFaceStab. Where are you from, by the way, Matt? We need to know where Matt McFaceStab is from. I know you were asking what... oh, you're in London. Okay.
Oh.
So you and Septic Scope are over in the UK. That's great.
Practically neighbors.
Yeah, practically
because everything in England is the same part of England.
We're going to have to start having like a UK... version of this. Who wins the UK?
Have eliminated the U.S. presidents and U.S. geography categories because I want to make us more global.
Okay. Oh yeah, you could be U.S. versus UK. We have more people on the stream for the U.S., but this would be interesting. All right. Okay. So Septic's in Essex, and Matt McFaceStab is in London. Oh, Surrey. From Surrey, not from London. There you go.
Oh, is that like we say we're from Washington, D.C., but we're not?
We're in Reston, which is about 40 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. But when people say, where are you? We say, we're from Washington, D.C.
Keith, you're violating the camera rule that you imposed on Caitlin earlier.
What's that? What am I violating?
Oh, you were looking at me, and that's not the direction you should be looking right now.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Caitlin. I apologize. I should be looking directly at you instead. Stop it.
Oh, apparently you were going like this, and it was entering into my thing. No.
The hand. It's the home countries. It's surrounding London.
Surrounding London.
Home
okay,
counties.
Home counties. Okay,
gotcha. All right. Let's see. Let's move on to question number 9, right?
Yeah. By the way, we didn't say the answer.
Oh. Well, why would we?
Because people get real bitchy.
They do. They get very, very upset. Did anyone get it right? Because if nobody got it right, then it doesn't matter.
You know who got it right? First.
No. Who?
Septic.
Septic got it right. Oh, going after the UK record. The answer correct, ice dancing. Which, yeah, that is absolutely correct. Trey also got it. Melissa came in with that. Karen gets a point as well. Danny also correct. So congratulations to all of you for getting that one. I wasn't sure if I would have gotten ice dancing. I know that it was ice related, so I don't know if I would have gone with ice dancing or like figure skating, couples figure skating. One of those two.
Yeah, Trey, you would think that, but I genuinely didn't know that Torvill and Dean were from the UK. I just copied this question out of a book.
Interesting. They're both from the UK.
Yeah, it's Torvill and Dean.
Torvill and
Matt
Dean.
McFacetab apparently would have known that too.
There, see? All right, so let's...
national
Their
treasure.
national treasure.
I had no idea.
Not our national treasure, but a national treasure.
I promise that wasn't like me floating an easy one to Matt and Septic. I had no idea.
We're trying to grow our brand internationally, so we've got to throw them some bones from time to time. All right, we're moving on to question number 9.
What century is the setting for Star Trek?
No!
This is the penultimate question. I'm sorry.
We missed it yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Why did we do that? Now we're just not doing it anymore.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now we can go to it because it's the penultimate question.
What century is the setting for Star Trek? And I'm talking about the original Star Trek.
All right. 60 seconds on the clock. The original Star Trek. Original Star Trek.
OG Star Trek.
OG Star Trek.
When I say Star Trek, that should be in italics, and it should be Star Trek, as in the original one.
Not with a colon and then like Next Generation or colon something.
No, just Star Trek.
Just Star Trek. All right. What century? What century? I like that people are doing it in different ways. This is good.
I have to Google because I have PTSD.
Okay, you're going to do the Googling while they do that. About 25 seconds left on the clock. Get your answers in. We're zeroing in, it looks like. A lot of people with either the 24th or 23rd century. Somewhere in there is where they're feeling really confident. Nobody going outside of that to the 25th, let's say. Or, I don't know, maybe the 22nd. Paul says the 33rd and a 3rd century. Which I think is not Star Trek. I believe that's, what was it? One of the duck shows, right? It was like Daffy Duck or something, right? He came from the future. Yeah.
He came from the future.
No, there was like a Daffy Duck thing, and he said that he was from like the 33rd and a 3rd century or something like that. Duck Dodgers, yeah. Trey says it, yeah. Duck Dodgers. I had it. All right, so the time is up. We're waiting to see Facebook catch up.
Oh, Septic is looking at his Star Wars posters crying. Sorry.
All right. We have 24th and a half century.
That's not a century.
We have the 33rd and a 3rd century. Mid-20th century, says William. Just in the middle of the 22nd century. 24th and a 4th century. Is that what it was? That wouldn't...
Oh. Matt McFace says as he answered earlier. Got it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I see you. I see you.
All right, so mainly there is one which so Shaggy went with the 2300s, which would actually be the 24th or 20. It's the 24th century, right?
Yes.
Because we're in the 21st century
right
now in the 2000s. The 2000s, right? And the 20th century was the 1900s, right? So he did it in a weird way, but he said 24th century. Lots of 24th, some 23rds as well. So, what is the correct answer?
23rd century.
The 23rd century. Oh my goodness. So the 23rd century looks like the first person with 23rd century is Trey, who gets 2 points. Danny also got that correct. Melissa and Septic all nailed it with the 23rd century. Unfortunately, Shaggy, you may have meant the 23rd century, but what you said was the 2300s, which would be the 24th century. So we can't accept that. TNG was the 24th century, Next Generation. All right. All right, so yeah, there you go. So we had some 22s and 23s and 24s, but everybody
See, right there.
Everybody got there. Yep, season 1. 23rd century, definitely.
I have a witness. You can't fight me.
Tom Johnson would like to point out that the 23rd century doesn't exist.
Neither does New Zealand. I get it.
Depends on if you believe in it being a fourth dimension and that everything has already happened. And if that's the case, it already does exist. We just can't perceive it yet. Picard was the 24th. Yes. The TNG.
That's the Next Generation.
Next Generation. Dang it, Craig. I was counting on you. That's what I get for cheating.
Yeah, Craig has been rewatching Star Trek, actually.
No, okay. He should have known this one.
Probably should have known this one.
Well, we're getting towards the end of the hour. We've made good time. We've got one question left. So let's get to it.
It's a 2-point question.
2-point question.
The rules for the 2-point question.
Yeah.
You must answer both of your answers in the same comment.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'm going to be super mad at you, and I'm only going to count your first answer.
There you have it. So the person who gets both correct first will get 3 points. If no one gets both correct, the first person to get one correct will get 2 points. Everybody else will get 1 point.
Yes.
All right, let's do the 10th question.
What 2 countries have square flags?
So they're not rectangles, is what you're saying. Interesting.
That's the standard shape. And then there's like Nepal, which has fucking triangles.
Triangles,
And shit.
yeah. Nepal has the coolest one where they're like, fuck all your flags. We're doing this different.
2 flags, which are perfect squares.
Perfect squares. What two? Paul goes with a Karen right off the bat.
So Paul's guessing that nobody is going to get both exactly right.
Right. The way Karens work when it is a 2-part question, Karen is saying that you don't believe both will be answered correctly in a single answer. No single person will get both. All right, so we've got some answers coming in. This is good. Septic, that's a lot of pressure, and you are pushing all your chips onto me.
No.
Oh, Danny's the most reliable source for future reference. There you go. So everybody just follow Danny is what he's saying. Little does Septic know that he's, I think, in like second place for the week. So it might be him. It could be him. Lots of good guesses. Time's up. We're going to the chat. Steam says Cat Baloo and Can't Fuck a Duck both have square flags. Is that true?
No, our flag is rectangular. It can't fuck a duck.
Yeah, we have a banner, but it isn't. Whoville and Tatooine, says Craig. Is that correct?
No, style point, though.
No? All right.
I haven't given a lot of style points today.
No, you haven't. You've been off your style point game, and that's all right. You don't always have to give
People
lots
have been off their funny things game.
Oh, wow. Throwing it back at people. Damn. You got called out. Tomorrow's going to have to be hilarious. Just saying. All right. So time is up. Looks like William got in, answered just after the time elapsed with Switzerland. But unfortunately, right after time elapsed. Also, if and when I'm drunk, I make weird choices, says Danny. Don't we all? Don't we all? Danny, you're on the sails of the boat. We appreciate you. You are the sails of the boat. There you go. She's mean tonight. Yeah,
I have a headache.
Caitlin's always mean. It's just you didn't realize it. All right, so let's go down the top. See, look at that. She does things like that all the time. What? What do you want from me? We've got Switzerland and Vatican City. Did get your hand away from me. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop it. Oh, God, no. Iceland and Norway. Switzerland and the Vatican. Switzerland and Vatican City, says Trey. Azerbaijan and Mali. Mali? Probably Mali. Those are all the questions that got in on time. Did anyone get both of them?
Yes.
Oh no. So Paul loses a point. The Karen did not work out. It was a good time to throw it. You have to know both things. So 1 point down for Paul. What was the correct answer?
It's Switzerland and Vatican City.
Switzerland and Vatican City. Matt McFaceDab comes in late to the game and still is able to get a bunch of points. Congratulations. 3 points for him. And then it looks like, let's see, Danny also got it. Trey got it, although it was a bit tentative. And Septic also got it. So there you go. A lot of people who got 2 points from that one. Do we have it all tallied up?
We do.
Let's go over the points and see if you feel like your points match up with our points. And then we'll go over the shares that we did, okay?
Paul, get ready to make a first loser speech because you have -1 points.
Paul.
Tom Johnson has 1 point. With 2 points, we have Ian, Karen, Shaggy, and William S. With 3 points, we have Steam and Matt McFaceStab. With 5 points, we have Melissa. With 7 points, we have Septic and Danny. And with 9 points, we have Trey.
Matt would like to thank his mom for
Oh, well, it is, tomorrow is Mother's Day in the U.S., so well-timed.
Yeah, it's nice. You didn't win the night, but we really appreciate the fact that you'd like to thank your mom.
Actually, I guess given the time just now in the UK would be Mother's Day.
That's true, right? Right now, as of a minute ago, there you go. So, well-timed.
So, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to the UK. Michael Barbine shared 4 times. And then I have shares from Craig and Shaggy.
Is it in March in the UK, Matt? When's Mother's Day in the UK? Because I know I always wish my friend's mom a happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I think it's in March.
Did you get those?
Yeah, I got all of them.
4 from Barbine, then 1 from Craig and 1 from William?
I wasn't paying attention to you at all when you did that part.
Oh, okay. That's lovely.
4 from Barbine.
4 for Barbine, 1 for Craig, 1 for Shaggy.
1 for Shaggy.
Yeah.
And William said that he shared 2 times, so I'm going to give him those 2 points.
Give him those 2 points, but in the future, William, we're not seeing it, so that often means that you're sharing it like in a private message or something. Instead of doing that, we'd really appreciate it if you just did it in the chat there. So
if you just write someone's name and tag them in the chat, we can give you a point for
that. So in the future, please do that, but we trust that you did it a couple times. Did you and so we'll give you those points for now, but in the future, make sure you do the little share button up at the top. And if you're sharing it privately to someone, just tag them. That makes it work a lot better.
Just so we can see it.
Yeah, and that way, people can't be like, I shared it 45 times, and we're like, I mean, we believe you, but that. So anyhow, all right. So there you go. So did that change any of our standings at all? Who's the winner of the night, I guess is what we should say.
Is Trey.
Trey! All right, everyone. Congratulations to Trey. Trey, if you have an acceptance speech, please write it in the chat and we'll make sure it gets read. Or you can assign someone like Steam to do it for you. Trey, we also need to know what color you would like the studio tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be our last day of the week, so it's your last chance to earn points to be able to get a free t-shirt, another Wasted Hour t-shirt, which Caitlin is holding up right now to show you what it looks like. Yep, that's the back.
There it is.
That's the back of it.
Well, I think the back doesn't get enough airtime.
You think, okay, so you want them to see the back as well. The back is wonderfully understated and muted. You don't have to worry about things being on your back that you can't read. But the front has stuff on it, which is pretty exciting. So that's good. It is a high-quality t-shirt. It is soft. It is one of those jersey knit ones, so it's like...
It's very soft.
Yeah, it's super nice. And I designed it. I had some help. Some people, chimed in, but just for the record, I did design it. So again, we do this at 7 o'clock every night. We want to... that's Eastern United States time. We want to be here so that you have something to look forward to each day that isn't, just pressing news of people dying and getting sick. So we just come here and do some trivia and, annoy each other by touching each other's ears and stuff like that. And so that's basically what we're doing. And lick fingers. Oh, God, why? Why would you do that? Trey says mauve. Is that a thing you can do?
You're a pain in my ass, Trey.
I don't even know.
It's going to be like neon mauve because it's light, but I'll do my best.
We'll make it. We'll get close. Matt McFaceStab says he promises to be here on time tomorrow.
Matt, we only do the Zoom call on Fridays, on Free for All Friday.
Yes.
But it's still fun the rest of the week. Actually, I had an idea of how we could switch things up on Thursday or Tuesday.
Oh, goodness. What's that?
Theme.
Oh,
so all the questions have the same theme.
Okay, theme Thursday.
I coincidentally happen to have a trivia book that has a theme section.
Okay. All right.
And you have to guess the theme at the end. So
'Cause-
it's 10 questions.
Yeah.
And then if you can guess the theme, you get an extra point.
That's great. Do people like that idea of maybe doing a theme Thursday or something? We've also got an idea we're going to be putting in the Another Wasted group, which is the group associated with Another Wasted Hour to talk about. But we're thinking about maybe allowing people to somehow duel so that you can steal points in some way. We're working out the details on that. We think that that might be a fun thing to do as well, where basically whoever gets the answer in first, if they're correct, get points, get the other person's points or something like that. So anyhow, think about that. Let us know. Oh, Paul has done
I would
an
like
acceptance
it, actually,
speech.
if Keith would read this.
Dearest Caitlin, it has been a fortnight since the last time I saw your smiling face in person. I appreciate you and Keith hosting trivia more than you will ever know. Love, Paul.
That was beautiful.
I feel like that was in Paul's voice.
It sounded just like Paul.
It was a dead ringer for
Dead
Paul.
ringer.
Also, since we are here at 7 o'clock each night, Free for All Friday when you join the show, we talked about that. There's also a podcast called Another Wasted Hour, and that's available 24/7. You can go download it at any point in time. There's 140 episodes. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of the places that you would go get a podcast. You can go search for Another Wasted Hour and get my podcast. It's free. There's some trivia in there. There's a little game show we created called Please God Just Get One Right. A lot of our guests don't, but that's okay. We've got some zany news from around the internet and some really great music and art from the DC area that you probably wouldn't be exposed to normally. A lot of very talented people. Go check it out. Give us a review, stars, things like that. This thing here, give us likes on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Give reviews where you can give reviews. Like this right now. If you go over to the left there, if you're on Facebook, hit love and stuff like that right now and let people know how much you wanted, or at the top of the chat, like it. Do those things, right? So people know about this and then they'll come and join us and it'll be even more fun. So we appreciate that. Don't forget, you can also find us on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook. So we're available in all those places. I think that's all of it.
Paul Jobson says that was fantastic.
Thank you. I'm glad that I was able to do that. Did Trey have his speech?
Trey didn't give a speech, but he would like the color to be mauve.
Mauve tomorrow.
He wonders how chartreuse worked out.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went with really light green.
He did a good job.
Yeah, it was pretty good?
Yeah.
Steen called it puke green, but I feel like it was lighter than that. But I don't know. I think that's all the business. Do we have anything else we need to account for? No? Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, mauve as best we can do for that. Until then, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. We'll get through this, but we're going to get through this together, all right? We're nearing the end, at least, of some of these quarantine things. We'll see if we actually go outside for a while. It seems like it might be scary for a bit. But until they do say that we can go outside, we're going to be here every night at 7 o'clock. We want to give a shout out to everybody who's helping the world go around right now. We've got a lot of essential person, both doctors and nurses and people, healthcare and caretakers, but also delivery people, warehouse workers, all the people who have to go to work and don't have an option to stay home. We appreciate you. I know it's not easy, and we recognize that. So thank you for doing it so that we can do ridiculous things like this. So yeah, I think that's about it. Until tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Good night, everybody.
Oh, I have to press